Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you all so much for joining us today. So today is a very special day as we kick off our annual RGV Student Startup Showdown Entrepreneurship Challenge. My name is Eloy Garza, and I serve as the Partnership Committee Chair for RGV Lead's Board of Directors. And so I'd definitely like to give you a warm welcome as today the focus is on our students and our teachers to provide this phenomenal opportunity. And so I'd like to take an opportunity to introduce the RGV lead, our RGV lead board president, Ms. Marisela de Leon. I'll let her give a few remarks. If she's on.
Let's see if she's on. She might be running late. And if that's the case, we can let her speak when she does log on. Mari, are
Okay,
you
no
on?
worries. It doesn't seem so. It's okay. Let's kind of continue moving forward. So today, what we have in terms of our agenda, we're definitely going to be discussing a lot about everything that you can expect with regards to what this competition is, what's involved, who's going to be assisting in it. But I can tell you this is all about students and celebrating the phenomenal, innovative nature of young entrepreneurs. So for all of our students that are listening right now, if you have an idea that you think might have the possibility to change the world, we want to give you the opportunity to bring it to life. Because as you're going to learn here in a little bit, not only are we giving you this phenomenal opportunity to compete and to really put together a great business plan and a pitch, but we are also going to be rewarding you. And so a little bit more on that as we continue on in today's session. So I'd like to now take an opportunity to introduce Mr. Daniel Silva, who is the president and CEO of RGV Partnership. And he's going to be joined by Ms. Naomi Perales, who is the community relations manager for Texas Gas Service and also serves on the board of RGV Partnership. So I'd like to pass the hat. There you go.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? All right. Well, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of our kickoff. And this is the second year that I've been involved with this, but I've been involved in business mind competitions for quite some time. And I want to say a testament to the group, their vision, their focus on what they want to do with this initiative is great. And I thank you for participating. The Rio Grande Valley Partnership, our responsibility is to represent the four-county region. The Rio Grande Valley is what we know of. And we represent businesses, we represent a lot of different sectors and try to help the valley advance. People have looked at the Rio Grande Valley as a bedroom community, meaning that we have a lot of hotels, we have some tourism, but we don't have a lot of good businesses, or we don't have a lot of good educated individuals. And that has changed over the last 10 years dramatically, and in large part due to initiatives like this. Having students like you who are dedicated to try to change the world really helps put the Rio Grande Valley on the map. We've had a lot of good projects come out of this region. We've had a lot of attention given to this region, and really, I travel the state and I travel out of the state. A lot of people are becoming familiar with who the Rio Grande Valley is, and education is one of the forefront that they talk about as to, our advancement in education are moving so rapidly. Trying to start a business teaches you a lot of things. We tell people who go through this program, I tell people who are entrepreneurs and they're trying to start up their business, fall fast, but move forward. If you fail at something, don't let it discourage you. As you're going through this process and you're trying to put your business plan together, then you realize, look, the numbers aren't adding up, or there's too many people in my sector. I want to do this, and there's too many people that we're competing with. you can pivot a little bit. Well, what makes you unique? What can you offer that's different? And what that's going to give you is a lot of what we call in the industry soft skills that are going to make you very valuable as you graduate. They're going to make you a good employee. And at some point, they're going to make you a great business owner. So I applaud your efforts. I applaud your dedication. I ask that you please stick through this. As Eloy said, there's rewards at the end of this. And we really, back to the testament of this organization, RGV Lead, and this collaboration that we have for this entrepreneurial challenge. We ask that you give it your full undivided attention. We ask that you schedule meeting times. Life will be life. Before you know it, we'll be close to the end, and you're going to be trying to get everything put together. Rely on your teachers. They're great mentors. They can reach out to us. We can provide them with information. I plan to try to make my way out to be to talk and to oversee and to be a mentor. So with that, I want to say thank you, and definitely don't be afraid to reach out to us, and we're here to help. But thank you for being a part of this.
Great. So thank you, Miss Naomi Perales.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to be here and super excited for this year's challenge. As one of the founding members of this challenge, I am just so honored and pleased just to continue seeing its growth and to seeing all the students that participate and the teachers that participate and the mentors that participate. It's just been an amazing experience. A shout out to Tachi Hinojosa. I know he's not online, or Annabelle Cardona, but they're the ones that really started this initiative and approached Dr. Solais and myself and brought this wonderful idea. So, you have the opportunity to participate in this. And it's just been amazing to see the talent and the ideas that we have here locally. It is awesome, just awesome. Again, I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to be here. Not only have I been a board member and a previous president for RGV Lead, but currently I'm also a member of the RGV partnership and the current chairwoman of the partnership. And I've got to tell you, every single experience that you have in your life leads you to where you want to go. You just need to know where you want to go. Build your roadmap. And there's so many people you're going to meet along the way. Take a moment just to make sure that you're in that moment and take in the advice and the knowledge and the wisdom from those that surround you, because all that will help you get to your destination. Just want to share a little bit of how the privilege of being a mentor and a judge. As a mentor, I want to really encourage the students, please reach out. Please know your mentors said yes to being your mentor. They want to help you and they want to see you succeed. Please know that we're available to you to reach out. They have their number. To the teachers, thank you again for all that you do to support the students. But also feel that you can reach out to the mentor as well. We're there to support you and help you along the way. We want to see the students succeed. They are our future. Students, you are our future. Know that everything you do is going to make a difference. And we are so encouraged by all that you do. As a judge, I want to encourage the students, please take in all the information that you're going to receive today. It will help you. Every single thing that you're going to be, that Lori's going to share, that Dr. Solais is going to share, that Eloy's going to share, every little piece of information. Take your notes. If you don't know something, please ask. We're here to help and support you in all that you do. I'm so encouraged by the students and the teachers and for the continuation of this opportunity. So I'm so excited to see your videos and all the wonderful things that you are creating to build this community in the Rio Grande Valley and to really show what you all have that will support us for our future. So thank you again so much for the opportunity to say hello this morning, and we're super excited for the future of this program and for what you're going to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys. So I'd like to take an opportunity to really, for me, talk a little bit about what it means to be an entrepreneur. And so to do so, let me go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. And I'd like to start off by sharing a inspirational video that I share with all of my students. Before I do, I guess a little bit more about myself. I currently serve as a marketing lecturer at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. And I work with my students in marketing. But more importantly, I teach a little differently. So every single one of my students serves as a marketing consultant. And we partner with local businesses in the Rio Grande Valley and across the country to support them with marketing business services. Now, the way this works is essentially I take ambitious business students and local business partners that need help, and we bring them together. And it becomes a magical educational experience. But as you'll learn here in a little bit, this was the result of my own entrepreneurial journey. So before I share a little bit more about that, I'd like to start off with a very important message from someone you might know. Let me make sure that you can hear it. Yep.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
So if you didn't recognize, that was Steve Jobs, founder of Apple. So when I first start talking about what entrepreneurship is and really what marketing is, that's usually the first thing I bring up is that video. Because to me and to so many other people, entrepreneurship is an opportunity for you to solve a major problem, to not be satisfied with the status quo, to not be satisfied with the conditions that you think need to be changed. It's about seeing something that you know can be better and then finding a solution to do so. I'm going to go ahead and share another screen, Dr. Salai. So when we talk about this in depth, I'd like to share a little bit about another hat that I wear, which is that of the CEO and founder of CareerBridge. Now, CareerBridge is really more of a passion and a purpose that I identified because when I was teaching at the high school level, I started doing this phenomenal work with my students. We would partner them up with local businesses for phenomenal opportunities for students to get real hands-on experiences. I started doing this with a methodology that I called the student-led agency. And so as we were starting to do this work of students, high school students, doing real marketing for real businesses in their small local communities, I started that. Nobody told me to do it. Nobody forced me or pushed me. It was something that I knew had to get done because it was something that I felt was going to help my students. help my students prepare for the real world. And so all of your teachers that are here, right, the majority of them are CTE teachers, career technical education teachers. They're not here to teach you how to pass a class. They're here to prepare you for the real world. And that's something that is across the board in every career technical education course. The focus is to prepare you, right? And so they do that in a myriad of different ways. Well, the work that I was doing in the classroom quickly was getting recognized. And as we continue to move on, well, it turns out that that was the first high school student-led marketing agency in the country. And then my students were invited to go present at national conferences by the U.S. Department of Education and other phenomenal people. And it's something very simple. It started off as taking ambitious students, partnering them up with local businesses to offer marketing services. And why it's so impactful is because the majority of small businesses out there can't afford professional marketing services. And so if our teachers are teaching this material and our students are eager and hungry to learn, now that's an opportunity to create that strong partnership, similar to what everything we're doing at RGV Lead is, and RGV Partnership. It's all about building phenomenal bridges, building relationships so that everybody wins. I'm a huge proponent of the win-win, and I think it's so impactful when we can take simple processes and strong partnerships to develop transformational opportunities. So again, with this entrepreneurial mindset, it's about identifying a challenge or a problem or a process that you know can be fixed, or you know something can be done to make it better. And that's what Career Bridge is. I developed this experiential learning management system. It's a software that allows teachers, students, and business partners to work together. And any kind of teacher, any kind of student can work on that. I'll skip that for now. But essentially what it comes down to is the problem that I identified was that teachers are overwhelmed. There's so much that has to get done in order for them to just go through their typical curriculum, on top of the lesson planning, on top of, managing their classrooms, on top of all the paperwork that's involved in being a teacher. Well, now to engage educators and students with business partners, that takes a lot more. And my life was hectic, when I was trying to do this in the classroom without anything to help me. So after years and years, I mean over a decade of searching for some kind of a software, some kind of a platform, something that could help me manage and facilitate and develop the wonderful relationships that I was trying to cultivate between my students and our business partners, I could never find anything. And so again, with that entrepreneurial hat on, I said, you know what, I'm just going to build it. And that's exactly what I did and what I've endeavored to do. Career Bridge is an experiential learning management system, as I said, and it helps educators, business partners, and to develop, facilitate, track, and manage work-based learning, mentorships, internships, apprenticeships, practicum programs, paid and unpaid internships, doesn't matter. This system does it all. And we're currently doing it here at UTRGV. In fact, this last year, it received full approval from the president of the university and has been now implemented not only in my courses, but in other professors' courses. And we've utilized the system even with a strong partnership with the Center for Innovation and Commercialization, all in an effort to connect students and businesses in our community to develop win-win opportunities in education. Aside from that, we're also tracking core 21st century skills. So crucial in what it is that we do in education. So all of you are going to be using this software for this competition for free. Every single teacher, every single student is going to be utilizing CareerBridge. And it's the exact same software that all of our students here at the university, our business students that engage in experiential learning, as I discussed, that's what we use. And so you're going to be operating at a different level. Now, we've used it for the last couple of years here for the competition. However, for those of you that have used it before, you're in for a wonderful surprise. There's been some phenomenal updates and improvements, enhancements that you can expect. And more importantly, there is a new badging system that all of our users are going to be acquainted with. I will be sharing information as for those of you that advance to our finals and your business plans are accepted, you're going to get a lot of great resources, and CareerBridge is going to offer a small scholarship to the top student that engages in the system, just as a thank you for enhancing your own project management and career development skills. And so as we continue to push forward in this endeavor, in this effort, please understand, if you see the world not as problems, but as opportunities, you are an entrepreneur. In your day-to-day life, if you see things that you know can be changed, or you know can be enhanced, or you know can make people's lives better, you are an entrepreneur. And if you're listening to this, understand that all of these adults and all of these businesses, all of us here, we are here for you. You are our purpose. And we want to help you realize the potential that you have as a young entrepreneur. Because why can't you be the next Steve Jobs? Why can't you be the next great entrepreneur that changes the world? I can tell you in the work that I've done as an educator that there is no limit to your potential if only you get out of your own way and realize it. We want to give you the tools, we want to give you the support, and we want to empower you with the opportunity. And this is where it starts. My advice to all of the students here, give it everything you got. The only one that is stopping you is you. And so all of our teachers on the call, thank you so much for being advocates of change, for being change makers in your communities, for empowering your students, and for supporting this phenomenal work of developing our future. So with that, I will go ahead and pass the hat over to Dr. Salais as she gives an overview of everything you should expect for this competition. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Garza. And students and teachers, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time. I know it's been crazy the last few days because of the weather, and we did push it back to 10, and we are recording this in case you need to, maybe didn't have your students with you because school was canceled. I think there was at least one district that responded that their students were not able to log on. Thank you, Ms. Hernandez. I appreciate you letting us know. It is being recorded, so we can share the link with you so that you can share it with your students. And thank you so much for joining us anyway, because we know you could be at home relaxing and not worrying about this, but we appreciate your commitment to making a difference for your students, all of you teachers. Thank you. And so for the students that are on today, thank you for joining us. We're excited about this initiative. We have been conducting this event since I think 2018, with 1 year that we skipped because of COVID. but then we continued virtually until we were able to start meeting again. But this is really a wonderful opportunity for our students to demonstrate their leadership and creative ideas. As Mr. Garza mentioned, you know, you all have the opportunity to use Career Bridge, which is just a blessing because it truly is a wonderful program at no charge, because he is sponsoring this initiative, and he has for the last few years. So we're very extremely grateful to Mr. Garza for allowing Career Bridge to be used. It's an excellent resource, and it continues to improve every year. And we're excited, as you can tell, the university is using it. And so you have a great opportunity to use a resource that may not be available to many other students because they have to pay for it, and you know it's new, and their schools may not have it. And we're hoping that more schools will start to utilize it because it has a lot more benefits than just for this project. There are so many different components to it. So we're thank you, Mr. Garza, for again continuing to sponsor this entrepreneurship project. And so there are 2 phases to this initiative, and it's important that our students understand that how quickly you have to decide if you're going to be part of this project. It does go on for a few months, but you have to make a decision really quick in order to be able to have the time to meet with your mentors and work on your business plan and do everything that you need to do to be successful. So let's talk about what those phases are. And first of all, let's talk about some of the benefits. First of all, we're targeting our students 9th through 12th grade that are enrolled in career technology education programs. The challenge is to generate a business idea that's aligned with your training program that you're currently in, but nothing says you can't stray and be creative and do what you need to do. We know many of you students are enrolled in several career technology training programs. You might have a specific pathway, but you know there's so many of the skills that you learn in your career technology courses are applicable to so many different careers. So get creative. You keep seeing these little graphics of light bulbs and ideas, and it's because we know that you all are very creative and know what your interests are. So we challenge you to come up with a business idea that aligns and utilizes some of the skills that you're learning in your career and technology training programs that you're currently enrolled in or have been enrolled in or will be enrolled in. Because again, it's 9th through 12th grade that can participate in this initiative. You will have support, as Mr. Garza mentioned, and as Ms. Perales mentioned, and as Mr. Silva mentioned, from the Rio Grande Valley entrepreneurs. We've got college instructors, we've got leaders from across the Rio Grande Valley who are willing to provide some mentorship, who are willing to support you in this initiative. We encourage you to take advantage of that support. So we've got people out in the real world who are saying this is important. We've got sponsors at the end of the PowerPoint. You'll see the sponsors that are donating money and donating resources to make this an exciting and supportive program for you. So you need to know that there's people out there who are saying, go for it, do well, we're here to support you. And of course, your individual benefit is to develop the leadership skills that you need to be successful in life, to develop the teamwork initiatives that we know business and industry say is critical to be successful in the world of work, the communication skills that we know you need, regardless of what your plans are for the future. It's critical that you develop those communication skills, and this initiative is a wonderful opportunity to be able to utilize and improve your communication skills. Critical thinking. There is a need for something out there that you think would make an excellent business idea. Critical thinking on how do you make that happen? What is it that you need to be able to do to make that happen? And of course, the soft skills that are necessary for success. Being able to work with each other, being able to communicate, being able to work with people, being able to put yourself in a timely manner, organize yourself and get ready, a project ready by the due date, being able to do everything you have to do to be professional and successful. This project helps you develop all those critical skills, which will help you in life, no matter what you decide to do in life. Whether you decide to move forward with actually creating this business for real, or just benefiting from the opportunity, the skills that you developed as you participate in this. being able to put on your resume a scholarship application that you were part of this regional initiative, that you participated, that you were a finalist and moved on to phase 2, that you competed and maybe that you won, or that you don't necessarily have to win to say it was a success. You got to the end, and that's what's important. And I know me as a previous employer that hired people would look at that and say, this is a great asset to this individual. So there's so many benefits. We hope that you will decide to move forward with this as you learn more about it. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box or raise your hand. Sometimes I get so busy talking, I don't see the hand raised or the chat. So Eloy or Jeannie, if you all don't mind, at least letting me know if there's a question that's being asked, because we want to make this as real for you and as practical. So stop me if there's a question that needs to be answered. I won't take offense to that, okay? So there are 4 different things that must happen to be successful in this initiative if you're going to move forward. First of all, you're participating in this kickoff event. You don't have to participate in today's event to be able to compete, but this is our opportunity to share information with you so that you know what you need to do in the extremely tight timeline. So we have the kickoff event, which is today, and there's some things I'll talk about today in a minute. You've got some pitch videos that are due in the next few weeks. Then if you get selected for phase 2, then we got the business development workshop that you will be invited to on February 15th. And then we have the summit, and that's the actual competition, which will be on April 30th. And so I'm going to give you more information on that in just a few minutes. But just to know that there's a process. The most important part is that you got to get past phase 2. So the kickoff event, again, is today, recorded for teachers that need to show this to their students, or maybe there were some students that were not able to attend today, but you're here and other students are here that you want to share it with them. So please feel free to do that. Now there is an intent to compete form. If you decide, yes, I want to move forward, that's due January 24th. That's not too far away, is it? Now, just because you submit an intent to compete form doesn't mean that you can't back out. You can still back out. But if you don't submit an intent to compete form, then you won't be able to compete if you decide on January 25th that you want to compete. So it's important that you pay attention to phase 1 requirements. That way you are successful and are able to do that. So phase 1, you've got to create a pitch video and a lean business plan. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Yolanda Cáceres will be emailing your sponsor a copy of a guidebook or a guide. It's a booklet. It's not a book. It's a booklet of a few pages that will have the documents that you need, that will give you the same information. And so if she doesn't have your email address, please put it in the chat box so that she can get it, and she will email it to you as we speak or soon after we finish with today's meeting, so that your students will have access to that guide. So please do so and put it in the chat box, and that way we make sure that you get that link. If you did not register, you may have just logged on, but you didn't, so we don't have your email. It's important to get that. All right, so phase 1, you must prepare a lean business plan, and it's in page 2 of the guidebook. That's why it's important that you get that. And I'm going to show it to you real quick in a minute. You need to prepare a 3 to 5 minute pitch video that explains how your business idea will meet the needs of the consumer. Why is this a good business idea that we need to move forward to the competition? You got to convince us in 3 to 5 minutes. And I think Laurie Simmons is going to be talking about that in a little while, and I'll touch base on it a little too, but just something that will catch our interest and say, we want to learn more about this business idea. Let's move it forward as finalists. So phase 2 is very important. I mean, phase 1 is very important. You can't get to the competition until you do this. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. Let me just move things around here so I can see. All right, so the pitch video. It's important that you realize you have to do video. Now, all of us we have our camera, our phones. It doesn't have to be like a professional Hollywood type video. We just need to hear in 3 to 5 minutes what it is that you're going to do. So there is a rubric that I'll share with you in a few minutes that we use to judge the pitch videos. We don't want it more than 5 minutes. You should be able to tell us quickly what it is that your business idea is. And you want it to be compelling. You want to make sure that that it catches our interest. Because if we go, well, that's already been done, and I didn't quite understand what it is that they're going to do. It doesn't make sense. We're not going to advance you as finalists. So really put some thought into what do you have to say in the 3 to 5 minutes that will catch our interest and say, yes, we want to learn more about this business idea. It sounds like it's something that would be exciting. It's needed, definitely of interest to us. And we think it has potential. So you've got to put thought to those 3 to 5 minutes. Make sure you catch our interest. Okay. You must score 70 or above to advance as a finalist. So the rubric, it's important to look at the rubric. What are we going to be judging your video on? Make sure it's interesting and it catches our interest. Make sure you share the details of your project. What is it that you are doing and who's the target audience? Who is that business going to help? Who's going to be part of that? Who's going to be buying into your business or paying into? Is it a service? Is it a product? What is it? State very clearly who it is that's going to be buying your product or paying for your service. Make that clear in that 3 to 5 minute video, because then we won't know if it has potential. All right. Demonstrate the quality of professionalism. Make sure that you're creative with your video presentation and that it holds our attention, as I mentioned, because that's how we decide. Yeah, that one moves forward. It doesn't take us long. Within the first few minutes, we know, hey, that one sounds good. We want to learn more about their idea. Let's move them into finalists, okay? And then also include a general dollar amount. How much would you need to raise to be able to make this business happen? And what will it be used for? And how much will it cost you to create at least, if it's a product or to start the service, how much would you need to be able to start it at a minimal, lower level, small business, and let us know about that. So your video is critical. That is important. Now, this video is due February 2nd, no later than 4 p.m. And it needs to be emailed to Ms. Cáceres at RGV Lead. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But so see how quickly that date is here. Here we are with the 17th. That's just a few weeks away. So you got to decide quickly, and you got to get that video already. Your ideas, you need to start working on them already. All right. So the video is due February 2nd. And then, so what is it that you need to be thinking about as you're thinking about your business idea? What is the problem that you're trying to solve? What is it? Is what's needed? Do we need another Whataburger? Do we need, what is it that your business idea is that people are willing to pay money for? What's the problem? What isn't being done? Are there not enough daycares? What is the problem? Who are the individuals that will benefit? When I'm watching those little pitch videos, I want to know, what problem are they solving? Who are the individuals that are going to benefit from it? What is the product or the service that you're trying to address? Maybe it is another little gadget that is needed in the world to make our life easier. Or maybe it's a service that you need to provide, that is needed, that people are willing to pay money for. Tell you what, I pay money for a Chick-fil-A all the time. And I'll keep going over and over and over. Same thing with Whataburger. I pay money for people to come clean my pool. I pay money for that because I don't want to do it myself. You know what I mean? So there's things that people need. Daycare. My child, my grandson needs a place to stay. So ask yourself like that, questions like that. Who's it going to help? What is it going to do? Will people be willing to pay money for it more than once? Okay, because that means they're repeat customers. So think like that. What is the competition? There's tons of Whataburgers. There's tons of Chick-fil-A's. There's not that many pool people who can clean my pool. There's some daycares, but are there enough in your community? This little gadget that I bought, is it something that I will buy over and over and over again? So think about that. Who's going to buy it? Is it going to be the people over 65? Is it going to be young people? People keep going to Starbucks. What is it? Will they keep coming back? Or are there lots of businesses out there? How are you going to make the money? You must explain that. It's important. I mean, if you can't show us that you're going to make any money, then that's not really a very, well, it might be a good business idea, but you haven't explained it sufficiently. Explain. So these are questions you want to answer in the little 3 to 5 minutes. That's a challenge. What resources do you have or that you need? You know, what resources you have that you want? You know, what is it that you need to make this happen? And how are you going to create value in what you have to offer? Again, like I said, do you continue to, will people want to continue to support your business idea? Or are there, if it's a one product idea, are there enough people in your area that will support that enough to keep you from going broke? All right. So these are things to consider. And I think Lori might mention a few more other things when she presents in a little while, Ms. Simmons. And so, but keep that in mind for the pitch video, because it's possible in 3 to 5 minutes to answer a lot of these questions in a very creative, eye-catching way, so that you know that the judges are going to be interested in what your business idea is. So there is a rubric, like I mentioned, and it is in the guidebook. That's why it's important to have your guidebook that tells you how we're going to be judging your video. Okay. So again, does it address the problem or the need? Who's the target market? Who are you going to try to convince to support your business, to pay money for your product or your service? Is it clear? Did you make that clear? Do we know what it is that you're going to be doing? What your business is going to be doing? Make it clear. The potential competition, is there somebody else or lots of other people doing that? Mention it. And if there are, what makes you unique? What makes you think that your idea will be supported and successful? What is the potential for financial success? Describe how your product or your service is going to generate money. What is it? How's it going to make money so that you stay in business? The key resources needed. What is it that you need to help get started with this business? Make it clear. What's the value, as I mentioned a little while ago? So you see the questions that I addressed a little while ago, where now they're being judged on. What was your video approach creative? Because if your video approach is creative, then your business idea is probably going to be creative too. So it's important that you catch us right away. And I say us, because I'm going to be one of the ones saying, yeah, that one's good. Let's move forward. Mr. Garza, Ms. Perales, Mr. Silva, and Ms. Simmons. You know, we're the leadership team that's working on this. So we'll be deciding. Effective communication in the video. Again, this is the rubric for the video. This is how we're judging. Whatever you did, was the communication done effectively and professionally? You know, were you confident and poised? Were we able to understand what it was that you were trying to say? And then you have to also submit the lean business plan, which I am about to talk about. So you see, we're telling you what you're going to be judged on. And when I was a teacher and I taught entrepreneurship, I taught it in my class. It wasn't a course. My course was apparel, textile, and design. But I taught entrepreneurship because I knew that there would be people, some of my students, who wanted to be entrepreneurs, who wanted to be able to start their own business in the fashion industry or apparel business area. And so we did it, and we competed, and we went all the way to state nationals with it. But again, I always told my students, start with how you're going to be judged. Look at the rubric, and you need to maximize the points. What is it going to take to get all the points that you need as you're being judged, so that you become a finalist? You want to aim for it. But if you just put your idea together without looking how you're going to be judged, then you're more likely to miss something very important and not get the points. So it's important to look at the judges rubric, how you're going to be judged, and then develop your pitch video by making sure you can say, yes, our video is creative. We made it clear what our product is, what resources we needed, you know, what problem we're trying to solve with our business idea, who are our consumers going to be, who's our target market, who's going to be buying or paying money for our product or services. Make it clear. And it starts by looking at this, students. All right. So that's the pitch video rubric. So let's talk a little bit about the lean business plan template. This is a one-pager. It's one page where you're pretty much going to tell us just what we are looking for in your video as well. And this one's hard to read, but this one's also due on your video. The video is due February 2nd, and so is the one pager. If you submit just your video without this, you've already lost the points that you would have had for this. And we can't move you forward unless your video makes all of this very, 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 very clear. We need your pitch video. Both of them are due. It's important. Now I'm going to share some tips because I've looked at some of these. The document, this one pager, is, you can type on it. Please take the time and type it neatly, make it very clear, check for spelling. Treat it as if you were going to the bank with it to get a loan for your business. Professional. All right. That way you maximize your points, and you want to make sure that we understand. So answer the questions again. What's the problem that you're solving? What is it? How's your solution? How's your business going to deal with that? How's it going to fix that problem? You know, who's the target market? The same things that I just talked about. The competition, you know, describe how you're going to sell that to your customers, whether it's a product or a service. Marketing activities, what is it you're going to do to get the word out there? Now you notice they're very small little blanks for you to fill in. You're not going to write a whole 10-page. It's a one-pager, lean business plan. Get to the point. You know, tell us in a few words, in a few sentences, what it is that you're attempting to do. That means when you're brainstorming on your business idea, you need to be thinking of these questions and being able to summarize it. Don't worry, later you're going to have time to expand it. But for the video, we want to be able to watch your video and read your business plan, your lean business plan, and be able to understand what your business idea is. So that's why this is very important. Don't forget to send that one as well by February 2nd by 4 p.m. because without it, we can't really judge it, and you won't stand as good a chance of becoming a finalist. Any questions? There's a lot on the chat. Mr. Garza, are there any questions that I need to answer, or that you and I need to answer?
No, but I'd like to open it up to anyone, any of our teachers, any of our students, please. We're here for you. We're here to answer any and all of your questions. So does anyone have any questions so far?
I have a question.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
So are there any requirements as far as like the business goes? Is there a specific industry, or is it just whatever business? Because you mentioned like, oh, do we really need another Whataburger? Some of the kids are like, hey, I want to create, you know, I want to open up a new burger stand. Like, so
Yes.
are you looking for like completely new innovative things, or is just in general their business idea developed to the best of their ability?
Lloyd, I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. So yes, you know, what it really comes down to is we want the students to come up with an effective business venture, business concept plan. Now, does that mean, hey, we need to exclude a new burger joint? Well, no. I mean, because we serve, this competition is for all students from across our region, guys, right? I mean, we service several communities with this competition. And so maybe in your community, you need a new, you know, burger restaurant. You need something new. What we are here to do is help you, you know, identify that opportunity, right? Because when we talk about entrepreneurship, you start off with the problem or opportunity that you're trying to solve with a business venture. And so I guess to really answer your question, you can come up with whatever business concept you would like. You can come up with whatever your heart's desire with regards to a new business concept. What we are going to look at is, does it make sense? Is it going to make an impact? Is it a sound, you know, business venture that can be brought to life? Because at the end of the day, you know, we need the business plans. You are going to want your business plan in order to be competitive. You're going to want it to be real, right? So when you think of business concepts or ideas, students, It's cool that you want to create, I don't know, like a flying a flying car that delivers pizzas, or something that may sound really cool, but it's very far-fetched. That's not grounded in reality. And so it's hard for you to advance in this type of a competition. But if it's something that is necessary or that's needed, it's a real business opportunity, a real business problem. It's viable. It's a viable business concept, viable business venture. That's exactly what this is for. So as long as it fits within that parameter,
Yeah,
you can create whatever kind of business you would like. Daniel, would you like to add to that?
yeah, I'd like to add to it. So, I mean, a lot of times when a business is developed, it's because it's out of necessity. Somebody said, "Hey, I need this product or service to make my life easier." Or sometimes it's because they look at a product and they think, "I can do that better." I think with this business plan process and what we want to challenge the students to do is, one, critically think. We want for them to be creative and process solve, but we don't want for them to say, "Well, I'm going to fry a piece of chicken in peanut oil and I'm going to go get Chick-fil-A sauce from HEB and I'm going to make my own Chick-fil-A sandwich." That's not what we're looking for. But
Right.
if they can show a competitive advantage, if they can show, look, I can make a chicken sandwich and appeal to a different market, we're going to entertain that. We'll be excited to see it, because at the end of the day, that's what we're solving problems, and we're trying to make products better.
Excellent. Thank you both. And again, looking at the rubric, is the problem worth solving? Because the judges are going to ask, whatever business idea you have, that the problem was sufficient enough that your business plan, your business idea makes sense. And you explain it quickly in the one pager, and you explain it in your 5-minute pitch video, enough for us to say, we want to learn more about this idea. We think they're onto something. We think this might work. Let's encourage them to continue to build their business idea by working with a mentor. That takes them into phase 2, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But so it's important that the video and the lean business plan catch the judge's interest enough that it explains it well enough that we say, yeah, this is doable. Okay. So great
Thank you.
question.
One more question. Sorry.
Yes, no problem.
Is there a limit in terms of like group? Like, is there, can a group of 4 participate and create, the business or the plan?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And you can, I think we had set up a team up to about 5, but we have in the past had one school asked, we have 6 students that want to work together. Will that be allowed? And we have allowed it. So again, we're keeping in mind that the team will split the winning prize, because the money goes to the students. It's not the schools, it's the students. Not that we don't want you to encourage teamwork. That's critical. But just keep that in mind as well. And the same, answering your question, can there be a team of 1? Yes, we have had that in the past as well. Okay, and another question that teachers, sponsors will ask is, how many teams are we limited to? You can have as many teams apply from your class, from your school as want to, as long as you make it very clear who's in what team, and they submit their videos, each team, and so on. So there is no limit. We encourage, this is an open door for our students to experience this project. And so sponsors, we encourage you to share this with your students and to encourage as many of them to get creative. Normally what happens, we'll have some that say, yes, they send in their intent. We'll get a whole bunch of intent to participate, the following week. And then only half of them will submit their video and their lean business plan. And from that group, only a handful actually make it to the finals. They don't follow through, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. So it's important that we get as many who are interested participating.
You mentioned the intent. I believe in the original flyer, it said the intent to participate. The form was due today. Is it going to be pushed back because the meeting was pushed back?
Oh, it should. If it says today, that's wrong. I believe it is.
Okay. I'm going off the original one, so I don't know if.
Yeah.
At least the original that I saw.
It's the 24th.
The 24th. Yeah. And thank you for bringing that to our attention. It could be that we used an old form and it got by us. But yeah, it's due on the 24th, which isn't that's next week, I think, isn't it? I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's quick. Your students need to decide quickly. So good question. Thank you for asking and for letting us know that. So then if you submit your pitch video, you submit your lean business plan, and it's judged, and we will let you know by February the 9th, because it was due this February the 2nd. So we will let you know by the 9th if you advance to phase 2. So phase 1 is participating today, submitting your video and your lean business plan. We judge them, everything that we get, and then we let you know, congratulations, you will advance to phase 2, but you must score a 70 or above to be a finalist. So if you have a real weak plan and a video, you won't automatically advance if you don't get a 70 or above. So it's important to review the rubric that the judges will be using and aim to get at least a 70 or higher. Okay. Any
Norma?
questions about this? Yes.
I have a comment.
Okay.
This is Dawn. Yeah. This is with regards to what Eduardo was asking. My son is an entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur. He's 32. He's been in business now for, I guess, going on 5 years. He went to University of Texas, and graduated, so he does have his degree. And he is a dog trainer. Okay. Now, in the demographic that he's in, there's a lot of dog trainers. But he was able to identify a specific problem and then also have the solution for that problem. So I think that's what makes him successful, is that he can target a specific issue, which is what Eloy was talking about, identifying that specific problem and then coming up with a solution. And I can say he's been very successful.
Thank you for sharing that, Don. I was reading
you
about
so
him
much.
on Facebook. It's an excellent business that he has going. I was reading just this morning. I saw it posted. And yes, and so he found a problem, even though it's a business that there's, like she said, there's lots of competition, but he's got something unique that he does that makes him successful. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah. Eloy, did you want to say something?
No, I think that's I think we're all kind of revolving around the same concept. Identify the problem, identify the opportunity, come up with a solution. And even if it's an idea, put pen to paper, put together your one-page lean business plan, really think about it critically, and we will help you bring it to life. That's what we're here for, students. We're here to help guide you and provide you with mentorship to help you bring this concept to life. So I'll let you continue, Dr. Salai.
Thank you, Mr. Garza. So that takes us to phase 2. When Mr. Garza mentions we're going to help you bring it to life, we've judged you. We've said, yes, you're a finalist. This is when we start working with you, really working with your team. All right. During our business development workshop, which is scheduled for February the 15th. So we let you know on the 9th. And by the 15th, we're having a face-to-face workshop at the UT-RGV Center for Innovation and Commercialization in Weslaco. We're going to be meeting there with you. And this is the beginning of helping you, to support you. You will be paired with a mentor. And that mentor will be working with you to provide opportunities to plant seeds and say, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Have you thought about that? What if you did this? That mentor will be working with you. And this is a real person out in industry who aligns closely with your business idea, as closely as we can, or might just be a very successful entrepreneur whose general skills and knowledge will help strengthen your business idea. So we'll let you know you're a finalist. You attend this business workshop. It's from 9 to 2. We will feed you. We talked about our sponsors earlier. I'll mention them again at the end, or Eloy will. And it's important that you know that that's a day for you to ask questions. We're going to dig in deeper into what you need to do. We'll provide tips, training on what's your real business plan, because that one pager is going to grow much bigger. And so, but that's when we begin the work, and that's why we're doing it quickly, because you need time. So we got our workshop on the 15th. You know who you find out who your mentor is, and you start working with them on your own, at your school or however you figure it out. You learn about Career Bridge, how to use the Career Bridge program, because some of you may never have been exposed to it. You're new to this initiative. And so you're going to have the opportunity to learn what you need to do to make your business happen, okay? Or at least the idea to continue developing the plan. And you'll have from February 15th all the way to a few days before April 30th. That's when you actually compete, all right? So on the 30th, at the same place at the UT RGV Center for Innovation and Commercialization in Weslaco, we will have the competition. You will be assigned a time to compete. And you're going to submit the final written business plan, which is a little bit more detailed. You're going to present a PowerPoint to the judges who will be sitting in front of you, listening to your business idea. That's when you're going to be able to really explain your business. And you will need to provide at least 3 hard copies, or I think I'm not sure if we're going to have them, you email them to us, or if you actually come in with hard copies. So we'll get back to you on when you get to the business workshop with the details on that. But the judges will have a copy of your business plan, and you'll present a 10-minute PowerPoint where you're going to your pitch deck, where you're going to explain your business, and you have 10 minutes to do that. And we're saying not to exceed 15 slides at the most. And then at the end, you'll have 5 minutes for questions and answers with the judges. And so the judges are going to listen to all of them. We'll have different judges, and then finalists probably at the end may have to present again. It depends how many finalists we have. But so you have from February to the end of April to work on your plan, to work with your mentor, to be able to develop your business idea and try to make it as clear as possible so that when you do this presentation, the judges clearly understand what your business idea is and who the target market is going to be, how are you going to make your money, and everything else that's important. And there is a rubric for the judging as well. And I believe no, I don't have it. It's in the guidebook, okay? So again, very similar to what we saw for the pitch video, but a little bit more detailed. So it's important to look at that. It is in the guidebook that is being sent to you if it hasn't already been sent. All right. So questions at this point about phase 2? Okay. That event is from 9 to 2. We will feed you there as well. All right. And so there are prizes, as we mentioned, and those will be awarded at the event, the competition event. We got first place at 1,500, second 1,000, and third 750. And that's, as I mentioned, that money goes directly to the students. So if you have a team of 1 and you win first place, then you get 1,500 for you to use with developing your business or whatever. We can't tell you what to do with it. It's your money. If you have a team of 6, you divide it up. Okay. So any questions about that? As you can tell, our sponsors are listed here. These are companies, business and industries out there that love this project and are supporting it with money so that we can have the prize money and to be able to feed you and everything that we need to do to make this happen.
So
I wanted
Dr.
to add.
Salisa, I was just going to say, I think Daniel has something to share.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so so we've been running this program for a number of years, and we reach out from time to time to new industry to see if they support it. And I had a conversation with Alonso Cantu, and as busy as he is and as much as he has in different ventures, he focuses a lot on students and education. And so when I mentioned what we were doing with this project, he got really excited. He said, "Count me in." He said, anything that I could do to help students start businesses and progress, I'm going to support. So, all of our sponsors care, and they're excited to see that you all are taking these steps, but understand that even people like Alonso, who, if you know his story, he started from a very humble beginning. And so he has faith that you will be able to do the same thing.
And I think, Daniel, one more thing. So there was been some discussion with regards to our prizes. And
Yes.
I think Daniel also wanted to present something, a little surprise for our teachers.
Yeah, so our teachers, they're the unrecognized heroes in this process. And you'll notice that as a teacher, they have a vested interest in you because they want to see each and every one of their students successful. So this year, we talked amongst the steering committee, and we're making a prize available for the top teacher as well. So we're going to award the teacher whose team gets first place with a $500 gift.
Yay,
There
that
you-
is so wonderful. Thank you. We know the sponsors work real hard, but we also know that the winning teams, what we have seen the pattern of the winning teams that have placed first, second, and third, have sponsors that have been there, providing the time to work, motivating the students, providing the resources, making sure they're reaching out to their mentors. It makes a big difference. So thank you so much. That's wonderful. I think that's going to help a lot. Okay.
Thank you
there
so
was
much.
Go ahead. Lloyd, do you have anything to say before I answer some of the
Just-
questions on the chat box?
Just that's amazing. I wish that we had done that when I was teaching and I had teams competing. And thank you so much, Daniel and RGV Partnership, for making this possible for our teachers.
Absolutely. So I think the comment was made that the intent to compete form, that it doesn't exist when you click on it. We'll make sure that we email you a copy of the intent form as well. Apologize about that. I don't know. One of our employees that used to work with RGV Lead that was in charge of that is gone. So it could be that it was connected to her link. So we'll get that email to everybody that participated, and we'll make sure that Ms. Cáceres has it available for you all to be able to. We'll get that out to you today. And I think there's another question.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just come in twice. What format do you want the video?
Oh gosh, and I'm the wrong person to answer that question.
So the best way, if I may, so the best way for you to share your video, all of you have the ability, either with a phone or any kind of other device, to record a video. The best way for you to share it with us is for you to submit it onto YouTube.
Mhm.
And you can do this as a, unlisted video or public, either way. And once you put it into YouTube, you share the link with us. And that's the best way for us to be able to not only view the video in its original, format, in high resolution format, but also for us to share it among ourselves and share it with any judges. So again, all of you shouldn't really have an issue with this. Record your video and then upload your video to YouTube. Now, your teachers can upload them onto theirs, or your school YouTube, doesn't matter. Share it with us. You can share it as an unlisted video, which means that the only way anybody can see it is if they have the link, the share link. So that is what we recommend, and that's typically been the best way for you to share the link with us. Thank you.
And I believe that is listed in the guidebook. That's recommended that you do it through YouTube. Yes. So thank you, Mr. Garza. Another question was asked, will we be emailed this PowerPoint? Yes, we will email it along with the intent form. Is there a makeup date for the business workshop? No, there is not. At this point, we only have the one day. That is when we bring the mentors in to work with the students. And please let us know if there's like a major conflict. Sometimes there's student-led organizations that have competitions and stuff. It's hard to find a date when people are available. So it will be hard, but nothing says that if only one of you can attend that you can't videotape it. I don't know. I'm just recommending that. I don't know. But we will only have that one day for the business workshop.
Yeah, that's, if I can add to that, that's a hard
Yes,
date
please.
for us, guys. But please understand that once, if you do advance and you're part of that, if for whatever reason your team or teams can't make it, all of the information, all of the resources, including the recordings of the meetings, will be in CareerBridge for you. And again, CareerBridge helps to facilitate the engagement, and the collaboration between your mentors, your teachers, and the students. And so you'll still be able to, work with your mentors, chat with them on a regular basis, submit information for them and give you review and feedback on. So if for whatever reason you can't make it, not to worry, we're going to have all of those resources available to you for you in CareerBridge as you advance through the process. Thank you.
We will also send a lean business plan because I believe the guidebook had links to get it. We will send you that as well. Okay. All right. Well, I don't think that was it for me. Let me double check before we turn it over to Laurie. Laurie Simmons, as the director for the Center for Innovation and Commercialization, she is a wealth of knowledge in her head. She's in charge of this wonderful program with the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. Has been an excellent partner for all these years that we've implemented this initiative, and I don't think we could do this without her support. So she's going to be presenting next, and she is going to share information on what makes a good pitch video and a lean business plan. Laurie, it's all yours.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that very kind introduction, Dr. Slides. That was very sweet of you. And welcome everybody. I'm excited to be a part of this again. I think I've been involved for, I don't know, how many years has this been going on?
Since 2018, I believe.
I think I've been
with
involved.
1 year that we skipped, because of COVID.
It's great. Well, it's a wonderful program. And just a few words before I start my presentation, I am always amazed at the ideas and how bright our students are from across the valley. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity to help get that entrepreneurial spirit and that entrepreneurial mindset going and get the juices going for all these students. And I just love being a part of it. So thank you to the RGV lead team for letting me be a part of this. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to share my screen. If y'all can give me access. Okay, I do have access. And I'm going to give a little PowerPoint presentation on what makes a good pitch video. A lot of the items have already been touched on, but I will elaborate just a little bit more. So if you give me just a second to share my screen, and let me see where my presentation is. Okay. Here we go. And I'm going to share, and then I'm going to go to present mode. Okay. Can you see my presentation? Yes. Okay, great. So what makes a good, oh, and please don't hesitate to, you can interject with a question. And if somebody's looking at the chat and you have a question, if you would read it to me, I would be happy to answer as we go along. So what makes a good pitch video? So here are the key points for your pitch video. As Dr. Slice mentioned earlier, it's a 3 to 5 minute video. And so what we want you to do is to clearly describe what is the problem you're trying to solve and how big is that problem. I always go with a shark bite or a mosquito bite. So, I mean, is it a really big problem? And if it is, describe it as such. And if it's just a little problem, describe it as such as well. But the bigger the problem you're trying to solve, the more interesting it becomes. And then who is your customer and your target market, and how big is that market? That's, you've got your customer and your market, but how big is it? And the bigger the market, the more interesting, again, it becomes. And what is the solution to your problem? And what is the product or service you're going to deliver? How viable is the idea? And that's something that Mr. Garza spoke about earlier, you know, if you have a flying car or something, that's really not a viable idea. So try to make sure that you explain your idea and that it's an idea that's attainable. It's something that you can actually produce. And then who are your competitors? How will you make money? And who is on your team? So when you do your pitch video, make sure you identify your team and why you're qualified to try to start this company. Again, so in your intro, identify yourself, describe your business in one sentence. Why are you doing this? And is this your dream? You know, it's real important to explain why you're doing it. It makes it a lot more interesting. For example, if you say you have an aunt or an uncle that lost their leg to diabetes and you're trying to create a better prosthetic. So that's why you're doing it. And so it makes it easier for the judges to remember why you're doing something and why it's important to you. The problem, you know, do you solve a problem or are you just improving something? And what are the pain points people are feeling? Financial, productivity, the people, etc. If you have a personal experience with the problem and the pain, describe this. That's what I was speaking to a minute ago about the diabetes and the prosthetic. And again, how big is this problem? Is it a mosquito bite or is it a shark bite? The market, what market do you serve? Who are your customers? How big is it? You know, the TAM or the SAM, and you will, you know, do this research. How fast is it growing? And any significant trends that relate to your solution. So these are all things that you need to investigate when you're doing your lean canvas, and you will have the points that you need to find out. The solution, describe your offering or your product very clearly. What value does it provide? Provide the benefits and not the features. Any unfair advantage versus the competition. You know, what makes you better? Describe how it solves your customer's problem. It's very, very important to be very clear with how you're solving your customer's problem. The competition, you know, who are your competitors? What other products and services do your potential customers use today? And how are you better than your competitor? A lot of times we hear people say, we don't have any competition. There's always competition. And so please don't say, well, we don't have any competition, because there is competition. And what your judges will do, they'll get online and they'll Google whatever it is that you're doing, and there'll be a list of competitors. So please, or a list of companies that are similar to what you're doing. So please don't say you don't have any competitors, and identify them. It's okay to have competitors. It is. But what you want to do is how you are better, what sets you apart from your competitors. That's what sells. How will you make money? You know, what are your primary revenue streams, and describe those revenue streams. You know, are you selling a product? Is it a service? Is it a subscription model? You know, those are the things that you need to identify. Your team, it's introduce all your key members and tell their roles within the company. Call to action. So I don't know in the pitch video if we ask for the call to action, but this is something that is very important though, is the ask and the use of funds. You know, why do you need the funding? What are you asking for? What will you do with it? And what will you accomplish with it and those milestones? How to pitch your idea. So some advice before you begin: know your material. You are selling yourself and your team. Many times, people don't, and you may have a really good idea or even a good plan, but if you don't have the team to back it up, investors aren't going to be interested. Same with judges. But if you've got a good idea, not necessarily a great idea, but a good idea, but you've got the team that's going to make it happen, and you show that with your enthusiasm, with the talent, with the advisors, you know, the team that's backing you up, the investor or the judge is going to go, hey, that team's going to make it happen. And so it's really important to sell yourself and sell your team. And this is your chance to shine. You know, have a professional appearance in, you know, for your video, and then again at your presentation that's going to happen at the end of April. Wear proper attire and have good posture. Be articulate. Don't rush. You know, when you give your presentation or when you do your video, try to relax and not be nervous, because it shows in your video and again at your presentation if you are. So just, you know, take your time, don't rush, and you know, just go over all of the points that we've pointed out. Look at the camera when talking, relax and talk in a friendly manner. Avoid filler words such as hum, basically, right, like. So many times I hear presentations and they're and it's very distracting. So try very carefully to avoid those filler words and rehearse your presentation. Rehearse it over and over and over again so that it's rote, you know, it's just an extension of you. And then keep a positive attitude. You know, if you forget something or if you make a mistake, we don't know it. We don't know it unless you go, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot something. So just keep going, and just keep a positive attitude, because we don't know if you made a mistake or not. And things to note, your pitch needs to be a story and not simply a presentation, because, you know, anecdotes and personal stories that engage people make it more personal, and people remember it. You know, the investors, judges, they remember a story. Here, listen to me. I said, don't do that. We also, with a story, you can also ask at your presentation a question. Have you ever done this? Have you ever experienced this? And then you're engaging your audience. And it's important to engage your audience so that they're drawn in to whatever it is that you're trying to present. In essential sections in your lean canvas. So you're going to be provided with the lean canvas, and the ones that are most important are the problem, the solution, the key metrics, your unique value proposition, your unfair advantage, your channels, the customer segments, the cost structure, and your revenue streams. So these are the most important essential sections in the canvas. And if you have any questions, I am happy to answer them. I'm going to stop sharing. And great. So I hope I was able to give you some pointers and to help you with your videos. Again, it's 3 to 5 minutes for the initial video. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Lori. And so again, she mentions a lot of things I mentioned. She went into it a little bit deeper, and she mentioned some additional things. Lori, nobody's asked a question that I know of. Maybe they did in the chat box, but can you make your PowerPoint available to
Yes.
share?
I will.
Okay.
I will send it. I will send it to you,
Okay.
and then you can distribute it to those that
Wonderful.
are on the call.
Because you definitely have additional points that I think are important, and so I think they will benefit from sharing. Great. Let me read the chat box just in case there's something else that needed to be answered. I don't see it. Okay. All right. So you've got thank you, Lori, and I think this one's Eloy. We're closing down. So if you think of questions that you need answered, please, this is the time to ask. Eloy?
Yes. Okay. So as we are, really moving to end our kickoff, please, please, please understand again, we are here to support you. All of us on this call, all of the organizations that are a part of this, we are all here to support you. If you need any of the resources, such as I've seen that we are asking for the Lean Business Plan template, no problem. We can provide that to you. And the rubric for the video is going to be available to you, certainly. Any and everything that you need in order for you and your students, or for students and your teacher to succeed in this, we are here to support you. And certainly we are available to you with any questions offline. Just shoot us an email, okay? You can email RGV Lead directly. And certainly you can email me, but the focus here, you need to submit your intent to compete by next week. We need to know that you intend to be a part of this opportunity, okay? And then again, by February 2nd, have your pitch video submitted with your one-page lean business plan. In the scope of things, guys, this really isn't too much, okay? And certainly, it's important for you to give it everything you got, and make sure as you look at the rubric for the video that you're just checking off everything to the best of your ability, so that when you submit, you have a high probability of getting a 70, or above. And that will advance you to the next stage. Okay. So do we have any closing questions? Oh, I see one. Can we add our business from last year? So that's a good question. So typically we want to try and come up with new business concepts. What I don't know what my thoughts are on that. I'm thinking twice.
Was it let me ask the question for clarification. Was it one that advanced to the finals?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's probably better to submit a new one, because if the judges heard it, I would hate for it to hurt your chance.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
If it was a business plan that advanced to the finals, then I would say come up with a new one. If it was a concept that didn't make it into the finals, then now is your opportunity to refine it and improve it, so that now you get a better shot.
Right.
Good question though, Ivan. Very good question. So do we have any other questions? Okay, well then, to quickly summarize, all right, to quickly summarize, and you can put up our sponsors, Dr. Salais.
Okay.
This is your leadership team and the sponsors that are making this opportunity available to you. Again, we are all here to support you. $750 go to third place. $1,000 go to second place. $1,500 go to first place. And this is cash money that's going to go to you, and it's so that you can use it, hopefully, to start your LLC or to invest in, something. But we understand this is really a reward for your hard work, students. And huge thank you to Daniel at RGV Partnership for making the $500 prize to our teacher of the top team. I know definitely, I hope our teachers, enjoy that, certainly. But we are all looking forward to seeing your submissions, to working with you, to mentoring you, and supporting everything that you were trying to achieve as young entrepreneurs in our region. We are here to celebrate and empower you. So if we don't have any other questions, I think that we can call it a day and let you get back to your studies.
Mr. Garza, I have one question.
Yes,
Sorry.
sir. Yes,
Real
of
quick.
course.
So I think you guys mentioned that the students had access to like mentors, which the leadership team.
Yeah.
Is there like a specific person for I mean, I know the students have to submit their letter of intent. Once they
Sure.
submit the letter of intent, is that like you divvy up the mentorship? Like, oh, okay, this group is going to be to this person, or they can just
So-
or how do they reach out to, besides
Yeah.
me, because I'm the teacher, obviously I'm the one that's going to be here, but if they wanted to meet with someone outside of me, which is, I'm assuming somebody there on the leadership team, how would they go
Sure.
about doing that?
So
Or what is
really
the
good.
process?
Yeah, really good question, right? So with regards to our mentors, the process that we take, we have an extensive network of mentors, of business people, of leaders in our, big community here in the RGV. And so once we have an understanding of the type of business plans that are being submitted, and especially moving on to the next step, then that's when we partner you up with the right mentor. We want it to be a good fit, right? Because we are going to try and get a mentor that's a subject matter expert in the industry, the concept, the field that your student is coming up with. And the way that you communicate with them is through CareerBridge. So you will have access to them, and you will have the teachers will have their contact information, certainly, if you'd like to set up Zoom calls, at any point in time. But the communication, the collaboration, all the interaction can and will be done in CareerBridge. That is strongly encouraged. And you will have, as a teacher, you will have total oversight of all of that. And that's really more not only to encourage the engagement and the collaboration, but also for safety on everyone's part with regards to our students engaging with outside entities who aren't educators, right? But that's really what's at the forefront of that. So I have a question. When will we get access to CareerBridge? Very good question. So as soon as we have our list of businesses or student teams that are advancing to the next stage, our students, we will be needing their email addresses, your school email addresses. That way we can form the teams, and then you will have total access to CareerBridge. So I guess shortly after our top teams are identified, probably after the second week, in the second week of February, you will receive an email, with all the credentials that you need. We will have all the information that we're requesting of you, and you'll have full access to CareerBridge. And again, all of these teams will have all the information they need. The way that CareerBridge works is you will be working through milestones, step by step by step, and each milestone has its own deliverables and everything that you need to understand on how to advance and move on through the process will be there in the system. So I will be giving a full training on CareerBridge at our kickoff at our business development meeting. To you and to your mentors, and certainly there will be a wealth of knowledge in walkthroughs how to use the system as well.
I just wanted to also say that if you're a sponsor who needs a copy of this recording, if you will please reach out to Yolanda Cáceres, or Eloy, I'm volunteering you just because I'm not sure
Yep.
how we would do this. But if you need a copy of this presentation, reach out to Yolanda first and CC Eloy, and we will get you a copy of it. I can't do that myself, but I think Yolanda or Don can. So I'll have Yolanda and Don work on how we can send them a link to it. And that way they can share it with their students, those students that didn't participate, or the school that was not even at school today because of the weather. That way they have access to today's information. Okay.
Yeah, and I just put in the chat, my email address is egarza@career-bridge.com. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions whatsoever.
Great. Yay,
Okay.
we're done.
Any questions? Going once, going twice. All right, everybody. Well, thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day and stay warm.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
You.
Thank you, Don, for all your help making this happen. We were worried about logging on. Afraid we weren't going to be able to, but we did. So thank you so much. Eloy, Laurie, Daniel, thank you all. Yay. And I don't know if Madi ever logged on. I'm so sorry. I never did see her,
that's
but
okay.
I know she's very busy and she did
Very
express an
busy.
interest in at least participating. So maybe she logged on and heard for a little while. And anyway, thank you all so much. Let's see.
The best part was being able. Thank you, Daniel at RGV Partnership, for the prize for the top teacher. That's awesome.
That is so wonderful. Gosh, if that alone should motivate them to work harder with their teams. I know I would have.
hope
I mean,
so.
I worked hard with my teams all the time, but
I definitely would have too. All right, guys. Well, this is great. Wonderful. Another wonderful kickoff. And let's just keep it going for the kiddos. All right.
let's
Thanks
see
a lot.
how many we get.
Bye-bye.
Y'all
Bye.
take care. Thank you, Laurie, for the PowerPoint.
You're
We'll
welcome.
forward it. All right. Bye-bye.